So he asked me, okay, what am I doing wrong? I talked to 150 interviews, and I fast-tracked no one, and so on. And then I go, well, tell you what, let's talk about it after the meeting, after the hotspot meeting and the training, and maybe I could talk to you about it. Okay, so here's a little bit of history behind this. A week before, I was telling Patrick, I was going, dude, I've been talking to so many people. I've been recruiting like crazy, and I go, I don't know if I'm duplicatable. Like, I don't know if people can follow what I'm doing. And he goes, well, yeah, I felt like if I had people listen to me, I'm totally mess them up because I'm not duplicatable. I don't, I just kind of, I do it. I just do it. It's so ingrained. And he just kind of said, well, come on, man. People can still benefit. I go, oh, man, I don't want to mess them up. And so I was thinking, well, how can I teach it for someone to get started? And last night when Rob asked me, so God has a way of hitting me on the head, convincing me that I really need to do what I'm supposed to do. So part of that was not feeling like going to the hotspot because I already did Columbus. So I did the Columbus hotspot. So technically I did my hotspot for the week. So by all rights, I really could rationalize not going to the Cincinnati hotspot because I already did my hotspot for the week. I ran the one in Columbus, which just totally rocked. But I went anyway. And then Rob asked me this question. I'm going, oh, okay, God, I got you. I'm hearing you. So I start teaching my approach. And I've been thinking about it a lot over the last week because I really could teach it. Because the idea is if you can't teach what you're doing that works, then what good are you to the alliance? Like, yeah, you're good at what you do, and it's like, great, rock on, but if you can't teach others how to do it, then really what good are you? Like, if you can't duplicate yourself, if you can't teach what you know, we call it unconscious competence. Like unconscious competence, yeah, that's good. But until you reach the point of conscious competence where you're able to teach why you're good, you teach the techniques that work for you, then you're of value, okay? But you're of no value to, well, okay, that's a little harsh. You're of limited value if you can't teach what you're doing. You're a savant, but you can't teach it. It's like, well, okay, go off and do your thing. Rock on, we'll reward you with the trip. I'm fired up. Keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you. We're going to give you awards. We're going to recognize you on stage. But baby, give me someone who could teach what they're doing that they're being successful in. And man, that dude, that gal is valuable to the alliance. So like, if you haven't been able to duplicate yourself, then there's something wrong. Anyway, so in light of that, I went into it purely off the top of my head. And I think someone recorded it because I got to listen back so I can like write notes on it. But I taught my approach in a very systematic way that was like boom, boom. Everyone was like writing, like even the veteran recruiters in there. Like I'm going, come on. I mean, you guys are already getting success. And they were like, it's like, it was weird. So anyway, it's crazy. So it's kind of funny how you put yourself in position and then you have to perform, right? You got to perform, and part of that having to perform is showing up, right? Showing up, and then boom, you got to produce, and we're all under pressure. The bigger you get in this business, the more pressure you are under to produce good fruit. If you're a good tree, well, then there's pressure to produce good fruit. It's like if you're endowed with certain gifts and experiences you can share that can help other people, then, hey, baby, don't hide that light under a bushel. You got to let that light shine before men and women and people and human beings. And so to think otherwise is just the height of selfishness, the height of, not letting God work in your life, and the height of not letting God's blessings work for you. Like one thing, I'm big on that fear thing. Fear comes from the enemy. Fear and worry come from the enemy. Fear and worry come from the enemy. So, it's funny how many Christians I know, okay, so I'm talking purely from the Christian perspective. If you're Hindu, Buddhist, Jewish, again, you're people of faith. I can't speak from that perspective, only my own. And it's funny how many Christians talk about, I believe, I've got Christ in my life. I'm saved. I know what's going to happen at the end of my life. But they walk in fear and worry. It's like, golly, man, as much as they say that and profess that, Satan's got his hands wrapped around them, both hands wrapped around them, and is just shaking them up. And Satan's in total control of them. I'm going, oh, God, please help them understand the power they have. You ever go to a reunion, like a high school reunion? This is like high school reunions. If you ever gone back to them, it's funny how no matter how successful anyone is in life or not successful, you come back to a high school reunion, and it's almost like a measure of how am I doing against the other people in high school. And and no one is awesome because you remember how they were in high school. They might have all these accolades outside of the world of that, outside of that world, but when they come back together, they're still the same. You look at each other the same way. And it just blows me away where, okay, so when you wanted to ask a girl out and you just were nervous and just never did it because you never had confidence, and you find out at a 10-year reunion that she had a massive crush on you, and she was hoping you would ask her out. And it's like, oh my gosh, if I knew then what I know now, right? All these things and all the fears you had in high school, because you didn't move forward with it, missed opportunities. You know what I mean? Missed opportunities. And I'm purely talking from a hormonal 16-year-old perspective. But the analogy still holds, right? So it's amazing that you're supposed to walk in faith, not by sight, but how many of us get pulled down and dragged down by the enemy who convinces us through fear and worry not to experience the blessings. I mean, God has dude, come on, man, I want to bless you so bad, but your lack of faith and your lack of getting through the fear and worry is just you're tying God's hands behind his back. Well, Alex, God can do whatever he wants. Well, remember the part in the Bible when Jesus went back to his hometown? Today in church, we went over that gospel. Man, I was not going to be talking about this, but let me just kind of share this with you just because. So everyone who I'm going to get to some other stuff. I'm not going to say it's better stuff, but let me just riff on this for a little bit, and then you can. Okay, Matthew 13, 54 to 58. So in church this morning, we covered this gospel. Jesus came to his native place and taught the people in their synagogue. They were astonished and said, where did this man get such wisdom and mighty deeds? Is he not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother named Mary, and his brothers James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas? Are not his sisters all with us? Where did this man get all this? And they took offense at him. But Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his native place and in his own house. And he did not work many mighty deeds there because of their lack of faith. Yeah, God can do whatever he wants, but man, you are partners. You are partners in that. Faith of mustard seed. That's all it takes. Picking up that phone, going out in faith that the numbers work. I've given you all the numbers. You know that statistically it works. But still, fear and worry and emotion, I've been there. So I'm talking from experience. I know what it's like. The 50-pound phone, I know. what I've learned after 18 going on 19 years is that just like that class reunion, that the missed opportunity that I missed in high school because of my fear, worry, image, whatever you want to call it, the missed opportunity. And I'm telling you right now that maybe you're doing the same thing. Maybe that fear and worry, like when I got started. I mean, I know it is because I've seen where I've conquered it, and it's like, whatever. Yeah, take the Andy Albright approach. Whatever. Whatever. I'm just doing it. Like, who cares what people think of me? I'm going to pick up the phone. Who cares what people are going to say? I'm just going to do my thing. And I know it's going to happen because everyone else around me who's like down the phone, it's happening to as well, right? So fear not. Fear not. It's like, what, over 300 times in the Bible, it says fear not. How many times? It's like what freaks me out, what's funny about this is like before Christ ascended into heaven, like he appears in their midst, right? And everyone's like, oh, is he a ghost? Fear. And he goes, fear not. It's like, dude, come on, it's me. I have flesh and blood. I'm not a ghost. So if you're wondering if ghosts exist, he kind of says it in that verse. I'm not a ghost. And it's weird how anytime he's proven to people that he's actually alive and in his body, do you have something to eat? Like, you ever noticed in passages where he tries to remind people that he really is resurrected, do you have something to eat? They give him a baked fish and he's eating. Like, do you think he was hungry? Probably not. He's trying to prove to them, like, hey, I'm real. Give me something to eat. Let's have breakfast. Road to Emmaus. He sits down and breaks bread with the two guys that were blind to him. This after resurrection, right? He's like a real. And he even tells them, fear not. It's like, oh my God, it's the Lord. Fear not. These are his disciples. So look, even they were fearful. So like, you're in good company when it comes to fear and worry. Okay, so I'm saying that it's okay to feel that, but it's not okay to stay that way. It's not okay to not do something about it and overcome it by doing something. Does that make sense? Like, if you believe the way I believe, the victory's already won. The question is, when at the end of my life that happens, when the victory happens at the end of my life, it's like, I'm just hoping I can bring more people with me. So what can I do today? What's the most I can do today to make that a worthy exit from this world? Where, so why do I let fear and doubt enter into my mind when I know that the victory is won? But Alex, it's so hard. My family, they're depending on me. And money. It's like, man, claim the victory. Like, okay, so I'm not a health and wealth gospel guy. Okay, so like, wipe that from your brain. I'm not going to be talking about people that are broke, are not blessed because blah, blah, blah. There's sin in their life. It's like, man, they're people that are very successful in life that have overcome fear. The wealth thing, it's just whatever. I'm not the health and wealth guy, health and wealth gospel guy, but what I am is storing your treasures up there by doing something worthy down here, right? That, we got to take care of our brother and sister. We've got to take care of them. We've got to take care of all these people. One thing I hope about that, what it takes to retire video I did, was it woke you up that there are people out there that are walking in a fog, and we got to save them, man, one soul at a time, that they're headed for disaster. Okay, they're headed for disaster, both financially and spiritually, spiritual disaster, right? Because Satan has his hands around their neck with fear and worry, and they're living a life of quiet desperation, under the grips of the enemy. So we can wake them up, man. We can give them hope, and this business provides hope, okay? So, okay, I'm done with that soliloquy. I hope people are still on. Oh, we still got some people. We even added more to our ranks of people that are on. So anyway,